Have you ever looked in the mirror and asked yourself, when did I start looking so tired? Not sad, not sick, just tired. It's a strange feeling, isn't it? You still feel full of life. You still laugh with your friends, still enjoy your morning coffee, still find joy in the little things. But somehow, your reflection doesn't quite match the woman you know yourself to be inside. That's exactly what happened to Margaret, a retired nurse from Oregon. She was 67 when it first hit her. One morning, after watering her roses, she paused by the hallway mirror. Her skin looked a little dull, her eyes not as bright. She leaned in and whispered, almost like a confession, "I don't feel old. But why do I look this way?" Margaret wasn't chasing youth. She wasn't trying to look 30 again. But she missed something, something quiet but powerful, that inner glow, the one that says, "I'm still here. I'm still alive. I'm still me." And that moment, that mirror moment, is where many of us begin a new chapter. You see, aging isn't a failure, but ignoring ourselves after decades of caring for others, that's the real loss. This video is about reclaiming that glow, not through magic creams or surgical tricks, but through habits, real, sustainable, time-tested habits, rooted in wisdom, backed by science, and practiced by women across generations and cultures, especially Asian women. Have you ever noticed how many women in their 60s and 70s in places like Japan, Korea, and parts of China seem to age with such ease? Not just physically, but energetically, emotionally, spiritually. What's their secret? Today, we're not just talking skincare routines. We're talking rituals, mindsets, foods, movements, the kind that nurture you from the inside out and help you feel vibrant, not just look it, because Margaret's story isn't rare. In fact, if you've ever looked at your reflection and felt a little unfamiliar with the person staring back, this story might just be yours too. So grab a cup of tea. This is more than a video, it's a conversation. And by the end of it, I hope you'll see what Margaret eventually saw in her reflection. Not a tired woman, but a woman rediscovering her light. Margaret didn't change her skincare first. She didn't rush to buy the newest serum. Instead, she did something much simpler and far more powerful. She opened her fridge. That was the real beginning of her transformation. You see, one afternoon, while visiting her old friend Kim, whose skin seemed to glow effortlessly at 70, Margaret asked her a question. "Be honest, Kim. What cream are you using?" Kim smiled gently, shook her head, and pointed to her steaming bowl of miso soup. "It's not the cream, dear. It's the soup. And the fish. And the tea. The face follows the fork." That sentence stuck with Margaret. The face follows the fork. At first, it sounded too simple, but the more she thought about it, the more it made sense. Because our skin, our eyes, even the energy we carry, they're all built by what we feed ourselves. Let me explain. When we talk about aging gracefully, we often jump straight to what we put on our face. But what we put into our body is what truly builds the skin, cell by cell. Foods rich in collagen-boosting nutrients, like soy isoflavones, omega-3s, antioxidants, and vitamin C, can help your skin stay firm, hydrated, and radiant. And these nutrients, they're not hidden in some exotic pill. They're right there, in a cup of green tea, a slice of grilled salmon, a few bites of tofu, or a small handful of seaweed salad. Let's take a closer look. Green tea, especially varieties like matcha or suncha, is loaded with EGG, an antioxidant known to reduce inflammation and slow skin aging. Tofu, made from soy, contains phytoestrogens that can help maintain skin elasticity, especially important after menopause. Seaweed, it's a quiet hero, packed with iodine, zinc, vitamin A, and amino acids that hydrate the skin and support collagen. And of course, fatty fish like salmon or sardines are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which help your skin stay soft, reduce redness, and prevent that dull, sagging look. Kim didn't count calories. She counted colors on her plate. Greens from bok choy, oranges from pumpkin, reds from goji berries. Her meals weren't about rules. They were about nourishment. And Margaret? She started small. She swapped her sugary breakfast cereal for warm miso broth and steamed spinach. She added green tea to her afternoons instead of that second cup of coffee. Within weeks, her skin didn't just look better. She felt better, less bloated, more energetic, clearer in the mind. So here's the lesson she'd tell you if she were here. Eat like your face depends on it, because it does. Every wrinkle we fear, every spot we wish away, every bit of radiance we long for, they all begin quietly on your plate. And once you realize that the kitchen is your first skincare cabinet, everything changes. But there's something else Kim taught Margaret that made just as much of a difference. And it's not just what you eat, it's how you eat. Because even the healthiest foods lose their magic if we rush through them without awareness. Let's talk about that next. Margaret was finally feeling more energized. Her skin was brighter, her digestion smoother. But there was still one habit from her old routine she hadn't let go of yet: clearing her plate. Always, no matter how full she was. It was something her mother used to say. Don't waste food. Finish what's in front of you. And like many of us, she carried that belief into her 60s, without question. But one day, Kim invited her to lunch at a small Japanese cafe. The portions were beautifully plated, colorful, balanced, modest. Margaret noticed something strange. Kim stopped eating when there was still food on her plate. "Aren't you still hungry?" she asked. Kim smiled, resting her chopsticks gently. "No, I'm 80% full. That's enough." That was Margaret's first encounter with a Japanese principle called hara hachibu. It means, eat until you're 80% full. Simple but powerful. Because here's what the science tells us. Eating just enough, not until you're stuffed, can reduce inflammation, improve metabolism, and even extend lifespan. When you eat past the point of comfort, your body has to work harder to digest. That extra strain can affect everything, from how well you sleep to how your skin repairs at night. And yes, it can accelerate the signs of aging. On the other hand, eating mindfully, stopping before you're completely full, gives your body space to process, restore, and thrive. Margaret decided to try it. At first, it was hard. Old habits run deep, but she made a few small changes. She switched to smaller plates. She chewed more slowly, setting down her fork between bites. And most importantly, she listened to her body, not just her eyes. And something surprising happened. She didn't feel deprived. She felt lighter, calmer, more in tune with her body. Her face even looked less puffy in the mornings. It was like her body was saying thank you for not overloading it. So here's a gentle reminder. Being full isn't the goal. Feeling good is. And when you start eating with awareness, your body returns the favor, with energy, clarity, and yes, a more youthful glow. Because beauty isn't just in what you eat. It's in how you treat your body while eating. But nourishment goes beyond the table. There's another ritual, one passed down through centuries, that Asian women have used not just for their bodies, but for their skin. And it starts with something you already have in your kitchen. Let's open the door to that next secret, the age-old power of rice water. It started with a simple question. What do you use on your skin? Margaret had asked it so many times to daughters, friends, even the lady at the beauty counter. But the answer she got from Kim surprised her more than any brand name ever could. Kim didn't talk about a fancy serum or a $90 moisturizer. She opened a jar. It was filled with a cloudy liquid, milky white, a little fragrant, and warm to the touch. "This," Kim said with a smile, "is my skin's best friend. Rice water." Margaret blinked. "You mean from cooking rice?" Kim nodded. Rice water has been used for centuries by women across Asia as a natural skin toner. In Japan, it was once the secret of the usaru, rice-washing women known for their soft, porcelain-like hands. In China, the Yao women of the Red Yao tribe, famous for their glowing complexions well into old age, rinsed their faces with fermented rice water every day. And now, here it was, sitting quietly in Kim's kitchen. No brand, no label, just wisdom passed down, woman to woman. But what makes it work? Rice water is rich in vitamins B, E, and amino acids that help brighten skin, reduce inflammation, and even promote collagen production. It also contains ferulic acid, a powerful antioxidant that protects skin from UV damage and slows down visible signs of aging. Kim showed Margaret how to make it. Rinse half a cup of uncooked rice thoroughly. Add 2 cups of water and let it soak for 30 minutes. Swirl, strain, and store the liquid in a glass jar. Use it within 3 days, or let it ferment for even more benefits. At first, Margaret was skeptical, but she followed Kim's routine. Every morning after cleansing, she dipped a cotton pad into the cool rice water and gently patted her face. By the second week, she noticed something unexpected. Her skin felt softer. Her cheeks looked less dull. And best of all, she started to enjoy the ritual. Because rice water wasn't just about results. It was about intention. About taking a moment each day to honor her reflection, not judge it. That was the part Margaret had missed for years. You see, true skincare isn't just topical. It's emotional. It's cultural. It's ancestral. And sometimes, the most powerful beauty secret isn't hidden in a bottle. It's already in your pantry, waiting for you to remember it. But Kim didn't stop there. She taught Margaret one more secret, something so simple, yet so effective. It had become part of her morning routine for decades. It didn't come in a cream jar. It came in stone. Let's talk about the ancient practice of jade rolling and how it awakens your skin from within. Margaret had always thought of skincare as something passive. You cleanse, you moisturize, you wait. But when Kim handed her a cool, smooth jade roller wrapped in cloth, she said something that changed everything. This isn't just for your face. It's for your spirit. At first, Margaret chuckled. A roller can lift my spirit? But Kim didn't explain with words. She demonstrated, with grace. She sat by the window, gently gliding the jade across her face, from chin to ear, from nose to temple, from brow to hairline. Slow, rhythmic, almost meditative. Margaret watched as Kim closed her eyes, not in boredom, but in deep presence. She wasn't rushing. She wasn't distracted. She was with herself. That was the moment Margaret realized. This wasn't just skincare. It was a conversation between her and her own body. Let's talk about why this ancient practice has endured for centuries. Jade rolling, used in traditional Chinese beauty rituals, isn't just about elegance, it's functional. The gentle pressure of the stone stimulates lymphatic drainage, which helps reduce puffiness, especially under the eyes. It improves circulation, bringing more oxygen and nutrients to the skin. And by massaging your face, you enhance the absorption of serums or moisturizers, making your products work harder for you. But beyond the physical, there's something deeply healing about touch. And as we age, especially when we live alone or no longer receive daily physical affection, that gentle self-touch becomes powerful. It says, I care for you. You matter. You are still beautiful. Margaret added it to her mornings. She would play soft music, sit by the window like Kim, and roll her jade across her cheeks and temples, not to erase the years, but to honor them. Within weeks, not only did her skin look fresher, her mornings felt calmer. She started her days with presence, with gratitude, with touch. So here's the lesson. When you turn a tool into a ritual, it stops being about appearance and becomes about connection. And connection, especially with yourself, is what makes you truly radiant. Now, before we move on, let me share a tip Kim gave Margaret. Always roll upward, always be gentle, and always treat your skin like someone you love. Because that's the truth, isn't it? Your skin is you. Your reflection is not your flaw. It's your history, your resilience, your story. And while jade and rice water nurture the outside, there's one secret above all else that women across Asia swear by to protect their skin, no matter how beautiful their routine. It's invisible. It's often forgotten, but it might be the most important skincare habit of all. Let's talk about sun protection and why it's never too late to begin. Margaret used to love sitting in her garden. Every morning after breakfast, she'd bring out a book, a cup of tea, and let the sunlight warm her face like an old friend. She never wore sunscreen. Why would I, she used to say. I'm not sunbathing. It's just morning light. It felt peaceful, natural, harmless, until one day, while applying her moisturizer in the mirror, she noticed something. A faint brown patch above her left cheekbone. then another near her temple. Her skin was changing, and not in a way she welcomed. She mentioned it casually to Kim over lunch. Kim didn't say much at first. She just reached into her bag and pulled out a small, white tube. Sunscreen. This, she said gently, is the real anti-aging cream. You see, sun damage is the #1 external cause of premature skin aging, far above stress, pollution, or even time itself. And here's what many people don't realize. Up to 80% of UV rays still reach your skin even on cloudy days. That means whether you're gardening, walking to your mailbox, or sitting near a window, the damage is still happening. Slowly, silently, every day. It's called photoaging, and it causes wrinkles and fine lines, dark spots and uneven pigmentation, loss of skin elasticity, and in some cases, skin cancer. Margaret was shocked. She had always associated sunscreen with the beach, not with daily life, and certainly not with her age. But Kim reminded her of something powerful. Asian women treat the sun like smoke. You avoid it, or you protect yourself from it always. In countries like Japan and Korea, sunscreen isn't an occasional product. It's a habit, just like brushing your teeth. And here's the good news. It's never too late to start. Margaret began using a lightweight SPF 50 every morning, rain or shine. She chose one that was gentle, non-greasy, and made for sensitive skin. At first, it felt strange to apply sunscreen while staying home. But soon, it became part of her ritual, a daily act of protection, of respect for her skin. After all these years, within a few months, the spots faded slightly. But more importantly, they stopped spreading. So here's the truth. You don't need to fear the sun, but you must respect it. Because every moment you protect your skin, you're giving your future self a gift. One of clarity, confidence, and care. Now, Margaret's morning skincare had become something sacred. A splash of rice water, a roll of jade, a gentle layer of SPF. But Kim had one final teaching. It wasn't a product or a cream. It was movement. Because no matter what you put on your face, what truly keeps you glowing is how you move through life. And that starts with the ancient, graceful art of Tai Chi. Let's explore it together. It started with the breath. Slow, deep, measured, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And in that space between, silence. Margaret stood next to Kim in a quiet park just outside the city. The sun had just risen, casting a soft golden glow over the trees. All around them were people, many with silver hair and gentle eyes, moving in perfect unison. No loud music, no rush, just slow, flowing movements, like a dance between air and intention. It was her first Tai Chi class, and she had no idea how much it would change her life. At first glance, Tai Chi seems deceptively simple. No weights, no cardio, just gentle waves of motion, arms lifting, feet gliding, body swaying. But here's what makes it extraordinary. Tai Chi is not just exercise. It's meditation in motion, and it's one of the most powerful anti-aging tools few people ever talk about. Rooted in ancient Chinese tradition, Tai Chi is built around balance, breath, and energy flow. It's been shown to improve joint flexibility and posture, muscle strength and coordination, mental clarity and focus, and even reduce the risk of falls, a major concern for aging adults. But Margaret didn't need a study to tell her that. After just a few sessions, she noticed real changes. Her knees didn't ache when climbing the stairs. She slept more soundly. And perhaps most surprising, her mind felt lighter. Tai Chi gave her a rhythm, a grace, and a deeper connection to her own body, something she hadn't truly felt since her 40s. Kim called it the breath of 100 years. If you want to live long, she said, you need to breathe long, move slow, and stay centered. It wasn't about avoiding aging. It was about aging well, with strength, softness, and serenity. And the beauty of Tai Chi, it's accessible. You don't need a gym or special gear. Just a bit of space, comfortable clothing, and a few quiet minutes. Even a 10-minute routine in your living room can help you feel calmer, clearer, more alive. Margaret began each morning not with coffee, but with movement. And in doing so, she discovered something unexpected. When you start the day with balance, everything else flows easier, from your joints to your emotions to your skin. Because wellness isn't just what you eat or apply. It's how you move, how you breathe, and how gently you treat your own body. Of course, Tai Chi isn't the only way to move with grace as we age. There's another ancient practice that helps you stay strong, flexible, and grounded in your body. You've probably heard of it, but you may not realize just how beautifully it can transform life after 60. Let's step into the world of gentle yoga and explore how it helps women stay vibrant, stable, and open from the inside out. The first time Margaret tried yoga, she was 68. She wasn't looking for a workout. She just wanted her lower back to stop aching every time she reached for the top shelf. Her daughter had bought her a yoga mat for Christmas, a soft lavender one with a quote on the edge that read, "Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can." At first, she resisted. Yoga's for young people, she thought, for flexible bodies and bendy knees. But one rainy afternoon, she decided to try. She searched for a gentle yoga for seniors video online. And for the next 20 minutes, she breathed, she stretched, and she moved, slowly, cautiously, but she moved. When it was over, she felt taller, not just in her spine, but in her spirit. That was the beginning. Yoga, like Tai Chi, is a gift that grows with you. Rooted in ancient Indian tradition, yoga is more than a fitness trend, it's a philosophy, a practice that unites body, breath, and being. And for women over 60, it's one of the most powerful ways to maintain joint flexibility, especially in the hips, knees, and spine, core strength, which supports balance and posture, circulation and digestion through gentle twisting poses, mental clarity and emotional calm. Thanks to breath work and mindfulness, Margaret's favorite pose quickly became legs up the wall. It helped drain fluid from her feet after a long day and calmed her mind before bed. On tougher days, she stuck to child's pose, just curling into herself, letting go. And when her back felt tight, she'd move through cat-cow stretches to gently ease the tension. Yoga didn't make her younger, but it helped her feel more capable, more in control, and more connected to her own body. And that, in a world that often tells older women to shrink, was revolutionary. But perhaps the most beautiful part of yoga isn't what it does for your joints. It's what it unlocks in your heart. Because when you take a moment each day to be still, to breathe deeply, to move with kindness toward yourself, you remember something important. You are not defined by your age. You are defined by how you show up for yourself. Yoga became Margaret's quiet rebellion against the idea that aging meant decline. Instead, for her, and for many other women, it became a doorway back to joy. Now, you've seen how movement can nourish the body. But what about the mind? Because no matter how healthy we eat, or how much we stretch, if we don't learn to calm the noise inside, we'll always feel tired. So let's explore one of the oldest, simplest, and most powerful practices for staying sharp, centered, and serene after 60. Let's talk about meditation, and why just a few minutes of stillness a day can change everything. Margaret used to believe that thinking too much was just part of growing older. She'd lie awake some nights replaying conversations, worrying about her children, her health, the news. Thoughts buzzing like bees, never landing, never quiet. She was eating better, moving more. Her skin had softened, her posture improved. But still, she felt tired. Not in her body, but in her mind. That's when Kim told her something that felt both simple and profound. Your face reflects your thoughts. If the mind is restless, the skin cannot rest. It was then Margaret began exploring something she'd once thought was too new age for her. Meditation. The truth is, meditation isn't about sitting cross-legged on a mountaintop. It's about coming home to yourself, right here, right now. Just 5 minutes a day. Eyes closed, breathing in, breathing out, and slowly, gently, letting go of the storm. The truth is, meditation isn't about sitting cross-legged on a mountaintop. It's about coming home to yourself, right here, right now. Just 5 minutes a day. Eyes closed, breathing in, breathing out, and slowly, gently, letting go of the storm. Here's what science tells us. Regular meditation can lower cortisol, the stress hormone that breaks down collagen, improve sleep, which is when your skin regenerates, reduce inflammation, a major cause of aging and chronic disease, increase gray matter in the brain, supporting memory, focus, and emotional resilience. But here's what Margaret discovered. Meditation gave her a moment in the day where she didn't have to do anything, fix anything, or be anyone for anyone else. It was just her, breathing, being, belonging. She started small, just 2 minutes after brushing her teeth each morning, sitting on the edge of her bed, hands on her lap, eyes closed, and repeating a simple phrase in her mind. I am safe. I am enough. I am here. Sometimes her thoughts wandered. That was okay. Meditation wasn't about silence. It was about returning, again and again, to herself. And after a few weeks, something magical happened. The tension in her forehead softened. Her jaw unclenched. Her eyes felt brighter, clearer, less guarded. Because when the mind calms down, the body follows. The skin reflects it. The energy radiates it. This is what we call the mind-body loop. And it works both ways. If you nourish your body, your mind feels clearer. If you nourish your mind, your body feels lighter. And when you nourish both, you start to glow from the inside out. So here's a gentle invitation. Before you reach for your moisturizer, reach for your breath. You might be surprised how much it gives back. And while meditation is the quiet heart of mental wellness, there's something else that keeps the spirit young. Something even simpler. Not sitting still, not stretching, but simply being present in the moment you're in. Let's talk about mindfulness and how staying present can bring peace, purpose, and unexpected beauty to every day. One crisp autumn morning, Margaret stood by her kitchen window, holding a warm cup of tea. She wasn't rushing. She wasn't multitasking. She was simply there, watching the steam curl into the air, listening to the soft rustle of leaves outside, feeling the warmth of the mug in her hands. And in that quiet moment, she realized something she wished she had learned earlier. Life doesn't ask us to do more. It asks us to notice more. That, right there, is the heart of mindfulness. Mindfulness isn't about becoming someone new. It's about finally being with yourself, without distraction, without judgment. In many Asian cultures, this idea is woven into everyday life. In Japan, it's called ikigai, a reason for being. In Buddhist tradition, it's the breath between action and reaction. In Margaret's life, it became the pause between the worry and the wonder. She began practicing mindfulness not in grand rituals, but in small, ordinary moments. While brushing her hair, she noticed the rhythm of each stroke. While washing dishes, she felt the warmth of the water, the smoothness of porcelain. While eating, she tasted every bite instead of rushing through the meal. While walking, she listened to the sound of leaves crunching underfoot. And slowly, those ordinary moments became sacred. They became hers. Because mindfulness isn't about escaping life. It's about fully entering it, one breath, one heartbeat, one moment at a time. And here's the secret Margaret wants every woman to know. You don't have to chase youth to feel young. You just have to be present for the life you still have. The face softens, the eyes brighten, the spirit settles. Not because time is reversing, but because the heart is no longer rushing ahead or trapped in the past. It's right here, now, alive. And that, perhaps, is the greatest beauty secret of all. Not what we eat, not what we apply, not how we stretch or breathe, but how deeply we show up for the life that's already ours. So now, let's bring it all together. Because Margaret's story is more than inspiration. It's an invitation to reclaim your glow, to reconnect with your body, to return to yourself, gently, fully, and without apology. And here we are. You've just walked alongside Margaret through 10 transformative habits, not beauty hacks or passing fads, but meaningful rituals rooted in tradition. These are timeless practices, passed down by generations of women who chose not to fear aging, but to face it with grace, resilience, and purpose. Let's take a moment to remember each one. The mirror moment, the day you stop ignoring your reflection and start listening to what it's really telling you. Eat like it matters, because radiant skin and lasting energy start with what's on your plate. 80% full, 100% vibrant, learning to stop before you're stuffed, and honoring what your body truly needs. The rice water ritual, a simple, nourishing tradition that speaks louder than most store-bought products. Jade rolling and touch, the healing power of your own hands when used with care and intention. Sunscreen every day, your quiet, daily shield against the wear and tear of time. Tai Chi, movement as meditation, and breath as a form of medicine. Yoga, for flexibility in your body and your spirit. Meditation, calming your mind so your body can flourish. Mindfulness, the practice of showing up fully for your life, one present moment at a time. Margaret didn't change everything overnight. She wasn't chasing perfection. She simply began day by day, showing up with a little more care, a little more stillness, and a whole lot more love for herself. And little by little, the glow came back, not just in her skin, but in her eyes, her laughter, her presence. You can begin too. It's not too late. It's not too early. It's exactly the right time. Pick one habit. Try it. Live it. Make it your own. Because that glow you're searching for, it's not out there. It's already within you, just waiting to be remembered. If something in this video spoke to your heart, if you felt seen, supported, or simply understood, like the video to let us know. Leave a comment and share. Which habit will you start with today? And be sure to subscribe for more meaningful conversations about aging well, inside and out. We're creating a community of women who aren't just growing older. They're growing deeper, brighter, and wiser. And we'd be honored to walk that journey with you. Until next time, take care of your beautiful self. And remember, aging isn't a decline. It's an unfolding. And you're still becoming.